Anthony Show. Support the young community of Rhode Island. Welcome to the Anthony Show. Today's guest is Louis Victory, a hip-hop event organizer in Rhode Island, a fashion designer, and an artist. He is also an advocate against bullying. Thank you for being my guest today, Louis Victory.
Hi, I'm Louis Victory. I'm here to share my story with you. Life wasn't always easy. Growing up in middle school and high school, I would get picked on for being, so different. I would get called names and I would be an outcast. And I'm basically here to tell everybody that it's okay to be different and you should never let negativity bring you down. Opinions do not let them matter. And bullying, it's not okay.
So Louis, what is True Wave?
True Wave is a movement I created in 2013. It's basically something, an organization I would call it, that's all about positivity. I'm all about giving back to the community and staying positive. It signifies true movement pertaining to success, like with a divine outcome.
That's great. So how did you break into the music industry?
Well, I originally broke into the music industry. I started rapping in church at church events. I formed a little group called the Church Boys. Shortly after that, one of my friends that was in the group, he actually died. He passed away. So that set me back a little bit. A few years after that, I was actually ready to start working on music again. And that's when I formed a new group called the True Wave. And ever since then, it was like history. We did shows, we did out-of-state performances, radio interviews, and built a very great fan base.
Okay, thank you. So how did you go from being in a music group to becoming a solo artist?
Well, I was in the music group with 3 of my cousins, and after working together for about a year, we seen that, it's not the greatest idea to work, with family members, because, we love each other so much, but we would bump heads so much as well, and it would get in the way of the music. So we decided to go our separate ways, and I started doing my own music.
All right. So what sets you apart from other rappers?
Well, what sets me apart from other rappers is the fact that I embrace my individuality. I'm not afraid to, be myself. I would never try to copy, mainstream artists or people in music videos nowadays, I just stay true to myself, and I'm all about positivity in my message.
Definitely. You definitely have an original style. We can tell by your shiny pants, which look awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what makes your style different?
Well, what makes my style different is I don't really, I don't really keep up with what's popular, like fashion-wise. Like, I just have my own vision and I go for it.
Cool. I'm happy to hear that. And there's a lot of crime in Rhode Island. So what are you going to do, and what do you think is good to stop crime in Rhode Island?
One of the things I will do to stop crime in Rhode Island is I will continue to advocate, for nonviolence. And I'm actually thinking about starting, a campaign maybe, just to, spread the message and speak about how severe it is, to just not feed into negativity and violence.
Awesome. What's the name of the campaign? Or what do you think you want to have for the name of the campaign?
Well, I haven't decided yet, but that's something that's going to take, a little bit of thinking, but I just definitely know I have that idea in mind.
All right. And what challenges are you currently facing as a young artist?
Some of the challenges I currently face as an artist is criticism, just because, I promote myself in the public eye. I'm always going to have people who spectate, and, there's always haters, people who want to bring you down, and they don't want to see you succeed, and that's something I have to face. Another thing is, since I'm an independent artist, it's basically not that easy to, get the promotion that I need, as an artist. It's not that easy to get my music out there, but it's possible with hard work and dedication.
All right, awesome. So how can young artists overcome some of these challenges?
Well, as far as, the criticism, I feel as though you can overcome it by, not feeding into it, staying true to your craft, staying dedicated to your main objective, and, not letting anything, at all bring you down, because at the end of the day, you have to let your haters motivate you.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you. Because when you're starting out, when climbing the ladder, there are definitely times you're going to fall down, but you definitely got to get up stronger than ever.
Absolutely.
So do you have some advice for artists of how they can have their music more positive?
Absolutely. I feel as though there's enough negativity in music now in the industry. There's enough of it, that's what's popular now. I think it's time for, artists to convey a positive message, because the children who are listening to this music, they're the next generation, and it's not, fair to them that they're being fed all this nonsense when, we should really be more sensitive towards what they're hearing. So I feel as though they should just think about the younger generation. I think that should motivate them to have a more positive message.
What can an artist do to stand out from the competition?
Well, I think all they have to do is embrace their individuality, be themselves, always just know who you are as an individual, and just don't feel the need to do what other people are doing. Do what you feel as though you need to do to get to the place where you need to get. That doesn't necessarily mean copying or anything like that.
All right. And you have over 5 years of experience rapping. Is there anything you know now you wish you knew when you was younger?
One of the things I wish I would have knew when I was younger was to never underestimate my potential. Back then I would be, really shy, and I was still breaking out of my shell. So I wish I would have knew back then that, it's okay to, just be bold, and that's definitely one of the things.
So what are some things you have done to improve the community?
Well, I've worked with ministries that we would go out and we would feed the homeless, we would give them food and stuff, and donate clothes to them and things like that, give them prayer or whatever that, they needed to assist them or, make their lives easier. I also, volunteered a few times to clean up the community, like in the Manton area and South Side. So those are a few of the things I've done. Also, I put together these events, for local artists who really want to get their music heard and they really don't know where to go with it. I create these events so they can basically get their talent discovered and out there.
Awesome. I think that's a great job. And then from your intro, you told me that there was a problem in middle school and high school. So what can schools in Rhode Island do so that nobody gets bullied, nobody's an outcast? How can they get everybody involved?
I think you can get everybody involved by, just speaking up. Everybody has to do their part. If everybody just stays silent, when they see something going on, you see someone getting bullied and you just watch, you're not doing anything to help. You definitely have to speak up. You have to, look out for other people and just basically explain to everyone that how it's wrong. Bullying is not, a great thing, and it's definitely something that has to be stopped.
I definitely agree with you. So where are you from? Can you tell us about your nationality?
Well, I am from Providence, Rhode Island. I was born and raised here, but my nationality is Puerto Rican. My mother is Puerto Rican, 100%, and my dad is 100% Dominican. And it's really, I just have love for my culture, Latino power, and I'm all about, making change here in America. And I love every nationality as well.
That's great. Racial equality is important. And I'm also from the Dominican Republic. Do you go there often, or?
Well, I actually never been, but that's a place. It's on my to-do list. I have to make it there, and I have to also make it to Puerto Rico. I haven't really visited those places yet.
As an American artist, can you tell us about the Latin hip hop scene?
Come again?
As a Latin artist, can you tell us about the Latin hip-hop scene, although you're from America?
Okay. Well, I definitely have respect, for the Latin hip-hop scene, like, reggaeton. I love reggaeton. I actually have, one reggaeton track, and I think it's pretty cool. I grew up, listening to reggaeton as well. And, it's similar to hip-hop because, you're rapping, and they're just rapping in Spanish, and, it's a different type of beat, but it's definitely similar, and I feel as though the same message goes for, reggaeton. I feel as though any reggaeton artist should definitely convey positive messages in their music as well as hip-hop.
Are there any artists that you looked up to when growing up?
Yeah, definitely. I always looked up to Nas because I feel as though he wasn't someone who just spoke about like nonsense. Like he actually spoke about his struggle and how he would overcome his struggle. So he's definitely one of the people I looked up to, and I would like always listen to gospel as well. So Kirk Franklin and like Marvin Sapp, people like that are all people I respect in the industry. People who put out positive messages and are all about changing the world through influence and positivity.
That's great. Is there anybody you wish to collaborate with someday?
Well, definitely. I've always wanted to, collaborate with like Lecrae, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q. These are other artists who, speak about truth in the community. They have like political, views on life, and also, things beyond what we typically think is going on.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years from now, I see myself in California. That's where I plan to be living. I'll be having my own office, running my business, True Wave LLC, and I'll definitely be making great music in the studio, working as a model, and getting my clothing line out there.
That's great. And you're also a fashion designer, so can you tell me a little bit about what inspires your work? What inspires you to create each piece of clothing?
Well, I've always, I was always like a risk taker with the way I dress. I always, like to stand out. I didn't like, blending in with everybody else, and that's what motivated me. It would be like, what can I do to look different, So I think what influences my style and my fashion is definitely originality, and that's why I try to incorporate, unique styles, futuristic and vintage. It's like a collaboration of the two. All right.
So what else are you wearing that's from your work? The blue pants. What was the inspiration behind those pants? Why are they so blue? Why are they so shiny?
I just wanted to like pop out, and like I love leather pants, and basically I love to customize my leather pants, and I've had gold leather pants, silver leather pants, so I wanted to try something different, so I went with the blue, and I definitely made these. This shirt I actually customized the color of it. It was just like different color, and I like tie-dyed certain areas so it can be like faded. So I usually also make stuff from scratch as well, so I would get unique materials and fabrics and just form something cool.
So you work with leather. What else do you work with, and what's your favorite type of material to work with, and why?
I love corduroy. I feel as though it's just like a unique fabric, and I feel as though when you do certain things with it, you can do so many creative things with corduroy. And I also do a lot of tie-dye. I just like the incorporation of different colors together. I think it looks spacey. So
what are you gonna do to get your clothes out there so that everybody knows True Wave?
Well, I plan on getting involved in several fashion shows, basically to get my line showcased in these runways and have different models, model my clothes, and also, I want to, just really go out and, you know, promote myself. Like every day I go out, you know, I'm always promoting my fashion, because people be like, oh my goodness, where did you get those pants? Or like, you know, where do you shop? And then, you know, I'll be like, well, I made this myself. And
wow. That's
like
good. So take us from the beginning to the end. How does it start? You buy the material at a store, you take it home, you design it. Explain the business process for those aspiring entrepreneurs out there.
Well, for me, originally it started as, you know, money wasn't always, you know, coming in, and I would have old clothes, and it's just like, wow, I want to go shopping, I need new clothes. So it just started with a little bit of creativity, because I would go in, you know, my closet, and I would just try to transform, you know, some of my clothes, and that's how it started. I really started to see like, wow, I'm really making, you know, cool things like that I will actually wear. So
that's cool.
Sometimes like I'll just go in my closet and customize some old things, and then other times I'll get creative and I'll go to a fabric store, buy some fabric, and I'll pitch out an idea, and I'll basically just, after I have it fully pitched out, I'll make it happen.
Cool.
Sew it up.
So what's your target? Is it the youth? And if it's the youth, do you also do business attire? So for somebody like me, for a show, like what kind of clothes do you customize? What can you do for me?
Well, with me, I could do like anything that I put my mind to, but the thing is with like my fashion is just like, it's not like basic. It's like something it's always going to be something like very unique and different. So it would be like, you know, very professional, but like with a twist of like modern, you know, modern style fashion. And my target is the youth. You know, with everything I do, my target's always the youth, with my music and all.
That's great. So what's your favorite color to use with clothing? Blue, red, white? Does each color make a certain statement?
I do think that certain colors make certain statements, but my main thing is just like go for whatever looks good. That's how I go about it.
Yeah, because they say red is like the power tie. So when you go to an executive meeting, you definitely should wear a red tie. But sometimes you want to go with a blue, because sometimes red is too bold. As a fashion designer, do you agree with that?
No, not necessarily. I think it's all about the way you incorporate it. Colors like blue, red, you know, green, yellow, those are colors that pop. But I feel as though if you incorporate it, you know, a particular way, you can incorporate it to give the statement that you want it to give.
That's awesome. You're very young. You're only 21 years old, and you started your own clothing line, and you customize clothes. So what sparked the motivation behind that?
Like I said, like that goes back to middle school and high school, like when I would just stand out, and everybody, you know, they'll come to school with their Jordans on, and you know, all their like, you know, white tee. Everybody would like dress the same, and then here I would come, you know, I would like rock a blazer and things like that.
That's amazing. So hearing from your story, I hear where you came from. And a lot of students need to hear your story, because you're an advocate against bullying. So what are you going to do so more people hear your message? Are you going to go to schools and speak about your story? Do you have a plan for that? Because I think a lot more people should hear your story.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of the things I plan on doing. You know, I want to be an inspirational speaker. I want to get involved in, you know, middle schools and high schools, and basically tell my story, because I know there will be several people who can relate to, you know, what I went through. I know there's tons of people who go through that, you know, they probably feel alone and stuff. So I want to go and speak to different schools and make more music and put that message in my music.
That's good. So you're doing a lot of this, and you have a lot of success. So I'm sure you have a great team behind you. Do you have a mentor? Who's your mentor? How did you guys meet?
Well, I do have like a mentor. He's famous for his tape art around, you know, the state and then around the world. His name is Michael Thompson. He basically helps me out a lot, because he sees my potential, and he will always, you know, push me. And I thank him for that, because he always, you know, he sets me up for like the real world, and he allows me to know what to expect.
That's great. And it's good that he's been mentoring you and keeping you updated along the way and pushing you through this process, because it's very important for young people to have a mentor. I had a mentor. I had Jim Vincent, Leanne Varner, you know, all people who helped push me to the see where I am today for a television host. So how can a young person find their own mentor?
I think you should always look for people who, excuse me. I I think you should always look for people who are, reputable, people who are established in life. They always knew what they wanted and they made their goals happen. So I think those are the main type of people to view or look for as a mentor.
Because a team is very important to push your show.
Definitely.
To push your project that you're working on. Because it's not just you, it's the people around you. Because you don't know everything, right? That's important that you be able to accept ideas from others.
Well, me personally, I do most of the things I do them on my own, But my mentor, he just gives me a lot of advice.
That's good. That's awesome. So what's next for Louis V?
Well, great things are next for me. I'm entering a modeling competition for Mr. Rhode Island, and basically that's going to be an international modeling competition. And if I win that, I'll get to travel all around the globe and enter more competitions. And I also have several hip hop events coming up.
All right. So a model, you're gonna enter the competition. How do you walk? Do you have to walk a certain way? Do you have to put your chin a certain way? Can you give advice if somebody who wants to be a model on how they have to walk?
Definitely. I will say this. It's a lot of practice. You definitely should work with the coach, but the technique is always to keep your head up, straight, shoulders up.
Okay.
And you have to be firm. You can't just mope all around. You have to be firm, and
you got to show confidence, right?
Yeah, and posture is everything.
Okay. That's good. How long did it take you to learn all of this?
Well, I've been doing fashion shows for a year now, for about a year. So just hitting the runway is good practice. Definitely try to get involved in fashion shows, and I will work with a modeling coach as well. So it wasn't something that happened overnight to just have such a great walk, but it took time and practice.
All right, that's good. So what's the outlook for this industry? So somebody who wants to become a model, does it look positive? What does the future look like? Is there jobs for models? Is it a declining market? Or?
Well, I personally think it's whatever you search for. What you seek is what you find. So if you created a lane for yourself, that's how you go about it. Because I personally, I didn't ever get into an agency or anything like that. I just would freelance.
So what makes you unique as a model? Because there's a lot of models out there, so why are you different?
I'm different because I feel as though I have a unique look, and I have, there's a lot of models with unique looks, so I would just say, I'm unique because I'm myself and I'm me, so that's what makes me
all right.
stand out.
That's so awesome that you're into modeling. So a lot of your friends, are they into modeling or into entrepreneurship or?
Not really. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of associates, and I'm always surrounded by family. So
family is important.
Family is everything, definitely.
That's great. I'm sure your family's been monumental in your success, right?
Yeah, actually, my mom, she managed my career, for the first few years, and she actually pushed me a lot and supported me.
So anything I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
Well, not really, but I just want to say to, all the viewers, I want you to know to never give up on your dreams and always push for success no matter what is trying to pull you down. You can overcome any obstacle as long as you have faith.
Oh, that's great. That's important. Yeah, we still have a lot of time in the interview. I was just wondering.
Okay.
So that's good. So what are your educational goals?
Well, right now, I've taken a few semesters in a community college, CCRI, and I actually took 1 year off because my music was getting serious. So I took a little bit of time off, but I'm definitely looking forward to going back in the fall and getting my associates, and then I plan to keep pushing for my education as well.
All right, so you want to get an associate's and eventually a bachelor's in what?
Business management.
Oh, so you want to own your own business, which you already do now.
Yeah, well, I do, but I just want to, have that certificate, be official.
That's good, as a backup as well.
Yeah.
And you can help somebody else succeed, too, with a business degree. Because you have a lot of experience and wisdom.
Yeah, and that's why I actually took some time off because, I felt as though I did gain a lot of experience and knowledge in the courses that I had taken so far, so.
All right. So I asked everybody this question. Can you tell us a funny story, out of your whole life?
Okay, a funny story out of my whole life.
Maybe you was working on a piece of clothing, something funny, with a good story behind it.
Well,
You gotta make everybody laugh.
Well, yeah, I have a funny story. The only one I can really think of off the top of my head is how I met my cousin. She was one of the artists that were in my music group, and it's funny because we went to middle school together, and we actually like got separated because our family's so big and stuff. So we hadn't had seen each other since we were babies. So we went to middle school together, and we were really like cool and stuff, and we never knew we was cousins. One day, we was at this Halloween party, and we were the last two to get picked up. And our moms seen each other, and my mom told me, "Oh, you know that's your cousin," and she told her the same thing. So then when we came back to school the next Monday, we was like, we're cousins, and that's how we discovered that we was family.
That's a funny story. That's real cool. Cool. So can you give me a verse from one of your songs that's really deep and meaningful to you?
Definitely, I have a line that says, when the hate comes crashing, I'm calm, I'm never distraught. I lean like a palm tree, then it's back up to the top. And that's basically a powerful line to me because it's basically explaining how, I cannot be broken, like no matter what. Like when people start to hate, I'm calm, I don't get distraught, I don't go crazy, I don't lose it, I just lean like, how palm trees, like they lean like in the wind blows them and they lean, but then they head up right back to the top. So I said, I lean like a palm tree, then it's back up to the top, meaning like, I don't let it faze me.
All right, so lean with it, rock with it.
Definitely.
Right. So can you drop a freestyle for us that's positive and educational? No swearing or anything like that, but something
basically
to motivate the youth of Providence.
I'm not gonna do a freestyle, but I have a written that I feel as
written's good.
Is a good message. So here goes. Right. Goes, I bet you never seen a rapper this dapper. Providence is small, it's kinda hard to map her. However, I took action, I'm not just a yapper. Most of these rappers feel trapped, that's why they spit trap. I'm feeling poetic, so I'm really about to snap. Louis has the victory, Satan shut your crap.
Okay, that's good, that's good. Was this released this year or last year?
It's a song that I worked on like a few months ago.
Okay, and what is that describing?
Basically, it's just talking about how Providence is like, I find it odd that, I was born in the smallest state, of the United States. Like, I always wonder, how did I end up here, And I know I have so much potential, so basically that's explaining how, yes, I'm in one of the smallest states of the U.S., but...
Cool. Can you give us another couple verses from one of your older albums so they can see the difference and how you grew from before to now?
Yeah, this is one of the first ones I did, so it went, I want to walk on gold, I know that's very bold, but God, He gives me everything, the price is in His soul. No more being cold now that I'm spiritually defrosted. The fast life had Louis V, so exhausted. I may stumble, but no, I'll never fall. I answer to the King every time that He calls.
That's good, you're really talented, you use metaphors and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. We got to collab on a song someday, because, I do music too.
Yeah, you told me, and I think that would be a great idea, because, you're a positive individual as well, so, we already have that in common.
Cool. So before the show ends, do you have any more advice to people about how they can become successful musicians, what mistakes they shouldn't make in the future? Any last words of wisdom? Some
of the mistakes that I feel as though, rappers who are trying to establish themselves make are, the fact that they tend to get caught up in the spotlight, and then, it causes them to create an ego or, a persona, and, that's not always good because, you get lost, and it's definitely not a good thing. So I feel as though stay humble, stay modest, and just, never act better than anybody else.
That's good. It's really important to stay humble throughout your career, and then you stay true to your mission and you don't change up.
Absolutely.
Originality is important with your music, right? You want to stay true to your mission, so in 10 years, they still recognize the original Louis V.
Exactly.
That's good. So I'm getting the wrap-up signal, but thank you for coming on the show. It was a fun time.
It was a pleasure, and I'm honored to be here. And once again, thank you for the opportunity.
Definitely. The next time, we got to perform our song that we collaborate.
All right, definitely.
All right. Thank you.